Okay, I recently started my YouTube channel, uploaded 5 videos of my travel videos. All that was fine. Things went well. So many people really felt happy by looking at it, and it was a good venture. If I got the confidence that okay, if I could venture completely into that. No, okay, sorry, there was some bugger who's coming in one way. Okay, if I could venture completely into that, I am damn sure that I will be successful. This is the confidence that I got, and probably once I got that confidence, the interest into that thing went down. Because what might seem YouTube is completely different of what reality of YouTube is. Forget about the platform and all. I will tell you, it takes a lot of time to see. Vlogging is not a thing. It's not a very difficult thing for me. I can do vlogging like as a very part and parcel thing of my travel journeys. But the difficult thing for me is always about the editing. So once if I sit for editing, it will take minimum of like 3 to 4 hours. I don't do any transition edits. I don't do any cinematic edits at all. All my edits is just like cut, join them, and render it. No, I don't plan my vlogs. That is the main problem here. See, most of the vloggers out there plan their vlogs. This part I will talk, this part will come into the vlog. So they talk to keep it in the vlog. I don't do that way, right? See, so it becomes very difficult for me to judge, okay, which part is gonna go, because me as a traveler, I've embraced the whole journey. I want the whole journey to go into the vlog, but the whole journey will take 10 hours, and 10 hours is practically not possible, to put it inside. That is why probably, the judgmental part is where it's too chaotic for me to, cut down my own videos. And I again tried hiring freelancers for editing also. That guy did an amazing edit. Trust me, he did all the transitions, he put subtitles, everything was. I really like the edit part of it again, but I had to sit with him, tell him, okay, you've cut this part, I don't want that part to be cut, I don't want this part to be cut. I had to tell him in that series of ways, because probably the cuts which he did is not very suitable to my perspective, or because I went through the journey, I know what is more important in the sense more significant, because there are few parts of the journey which is not significant, like such as, for example, I'm driving through and I've spoken something not so relevant about the journey, so that can be cut. But from the editor's perspective, he would have done it on his basis. So I felt that is not. So again, this is all, I'm telling all of this because to justify that, okay, why there are so many people who are continuously asking me, why isn't your videos coming? Why isn't your videos coming? This is the main reason I'm not able to give out my videos, because the before math of my videos is taking a lot of time. So because of which now I've decided to do something very relevant and very meaningful. I'm not telling that the previous vlogs are not meaningful. It is meaningful for me, but probably something that adds value. So that is what I thought. See, most of the times when I'm traveling solo, as you can see, and I'm going to Chennai all the way from Bangalore. So what happens most of the time when I'm driving is I'm in my own thoughts, or most of the times I'm concentrating on the roads. I'm listening to some beautiful podcasts, mainly of Chaganti Koteshwar Rao, or Vinay Varanasi, or so many other people are there. Bhavesh is there. So many other people who do beautifully explain or talk about things which is like really relevant to my thought process. So that is what I've been listening. Now suddenly a thought strike. Most of the times when I'm not listening, when I'm not concentrating, when it's a plain road like Tirupati Highway, Tirupati Chennai Highway, it is a very plain road. I don't have to concentrate a lot. Proper 130, 140, simply cruising through it, I'll reach there. I don't have to literally look at the road and concentrate. I can talk. So at this point of time, I usually talk to myself. I have a brief kind of a brief interrogation or a brief introspection about what my thoughts are. That is what I write down. See, most of the times when you see whatever I've written, whatever I've uploaded, all those things are something about what I've thought about myself and what I've spoken to myself. So the end product of my own speeches, the end product of whatever I try to think about, I try to introspect about, I try to interrogate about is what my writings are. Because end of the day, for me to convey it to someone, I don't have anyone with me. Getting it? I don't have anyone in the sense I have so many friends, I have my parents, everybody are there. But to understand that particular thought process, I don't think I have anyone. A person who gets deep into me, who understands, okay, this person has this thought process. If he tells this thing, he is not mad, he is not crazy, because I know what he thinks. I don't have a person like that. So probably the only person who knows that is my paper and pen, personifying the objects here. So that is why the most relevant part of it is writing it down. That is why I write it down and post it. So now coming back to the point, now the reason I told all of this, the main point here, what I'm trying to think is, see, even here I'm getting conscious while speaking. I don't know, probably it'll take some time for me to adapt because I have the camera on. Now the main reason of me telling all of this is I will start talking about things on camera. Now, how will this help? You said this is gonna, you might ask me, you said this is gonna add value. How is this gonna add value? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to, impose your thoughts on us? Are you trying to, publish your thoughts? Are you trying to whatever you were doing it digital, whatever you were writing now, are you trying to do it digitally? Are you trying to do it vocally? No, it is not. None of this is the main point here. It might be these subordinary points, but it is not the main point. The main point here is to document my thoughts, because see, I've had layers and layers of perspective. Every layer of perspective is overlapped by the next layer. For example, let us take about a very simple thing. Let us talk about temples today. It is just a brief conversation of temples. Me thinking about temples 10 years down the line was way, way different than me thinking about temples today is way different. Getting it? Now, that 10 years old thought is already layered over like a million layers. So every day my thought process has kept on increasing. Every day my thought process has kept on getting matured. Me talking about way different things, me gaining knowledge, me having different exposures, me understanding things, me realizing things as layered over and over and over. So that 10 years down the line, my thought process is not there today. So probably that could also have been relevant today. See, that 10 years down the line thought process itself is the seed of today's perspective of whatever I have. But end of the day, it is not as refined as it was at the 10 years, because that innocence is lost. Getting it? So whatever innocence I had 10 years down the line is not there today because of the maturity, because of the exposure I got, all of those factors. So probably if I start doing this, my thought processes on different things will be documented on that point of day. For example, if I'm talking on Monday about something, I might talk a very different thing on Friday, because Monday to Friday, the journey about that thing would be very different. Getting it? I am not telling. See, this is where I've heard people telling there is nothing called as truth, there is nothing called as lies. It is all about perspectives. For example, I might tell a person over there is driving in a very rash manner. Now that person might think he is driving very much properly because he knows he's not going to hurt anyone. But from a far and a distant viewpoint, I know he is driving rashly, and from my viewpoint it might be rash. From my standpoint it might be rash. For someone who equally drives, so rashly equally, that might not be rash. He might think, okay, he's my companion or he's my colleague who's doing that way. No, so it is all different perspectives. In a similar way, why am I putting this into YouTube? There are two different reasons. First one, it can be that, okay, first one is that I will be documenting it for various different things. It helps me revisit my own thoughts. Getting it? Instead of talking about it, instead of deep thinking about it, I can revisit it, I can rethink of it. So probably I will understand what was my thought process at that point of time, what is my thought process at this point of time. Now, what is the bandwidth between both of them, what is the latency between both of them. So all these things might help me in a very, very drastical manner. And not only me, everybody else. Now, how will it help everybody else? I am talking about a topic. I will throw out light from my perspective or from my standpoint, so that will portray a perception from my end. Now, when I am giving out this perception, there are two chances what might happen. One thing is people might listen to this perception and live as if like nothing has changed in their life. The second part is where people might slightly get aligned to this perspective and go. Now, you might ask me, is your all motto to align everybody to your perspective? I don't want anybody to get aligned to my perspective, because my perspective is solely about my experience. Getting a call. Hello? Not interested, thank you. Not interested, thank you. So my perspective and my thought process is solely personal to me, because it is a derivative of my experiences and my exposure, my journey, everything. So I would not impose my perspective on somebody else. Getting it? On a very similar note, it is just like, you know, a set of rules are aligned and somebody is asking you to follow. I am a complete defier of that, because I really don't believe in that, because that rules has been set on some point of time for some reason, and that has been passed down with some intention. Now that the whole intention is lost, you end up following that rules, which doesn't make any sense in today's time point. I am not a person who follows that. Irrespective, it applies to a variety of things. Let us on the whole journey. Now, me telling something here very important is, I will throw some light, make a video of it. Probably, for example, recently I wrote about death. Now, death is something which people are very, very reluctant to talk about. People are literally scared to talk about death. Some people act as if they talk about it, they're going to die. Man, death is so inevitable that you can never, ever, ever bypass through it. Now, for example, I am driving properly. My speed is just like 120, 110. That's all. Even in this 120, 110 speed, anything can happen to me. So right away, some animal might come and I might bump into that animal, I might die, or I might reach my destination also. It is like a 50-50 standpoint. Now, imagining that probably an animal will come, If I'm so conscious on this, when will I enjoy the journey? Very, very similar. No, you compare the same thing to your life. If you keep fearing that if I do that, I might die. If I do this, I might die. Boss, any day, anyhow, you are gonna die. At the same parallel standpoint, I know that death is also a very premature and a fixed decision of your life. It is fixed. Your destiny is already written. Now, it is you who need to decide that if you are going to enjoy that journey to the destination, or if you are going to fear the destination or keep thinking about the destination and forget about the whole journey, and the end of the time, you make no sense of your life. So, again, this is such a beautiful point. No, I'm not telling I am a saint or I'm a monk by telling this. Most of us have this perspective. Like, whatever I am talking might also be there for millions of people out there. Now, then you might ask me, why do I need to talk and put it out? It is just a reminder. Getting it? Most of the times our thoughts are obscured by various different things. We are contaminated by various different deviations, distractions, all of those. So once you probably listen to this, I'm not expecting the world to listen to this. Probably 5 to 6 people listen to this also and get reminded about what the things are. And it also helps me in a very beautiful manner that now, for example, I am talking about something, I will get contradictions from this, because when I am thinking, I can think only to my best of the knowledge, right? My best of the imagination. Now, XYZ person might also have various different imagination. Now, that point of imagination or that dimension of imagination might never be my cup of tea at all. So, once I talk to that person, once that person comes and tells me, boss, you've spoken about your video in this. Now, what if XYZ happens in YXZ? There is a possibility, right? So, that will also help me expand my own dimensions and also help the other person expand his own dimension. So the whole, again, I'll stop diving into it. The whole agenda now is, I will, whenever I'm driving or whenever I have time, a dedicated time when I'm free, I'm not doing anything, instead of listening to music or doing something, let me make it a bit useful so that I can document few things. See this? Hey! So that I can document few videos and keep it with me. And also, probably let me see if this is gonna be probably I've never seen people doing this. People have been doing podcasts for years now. For decades people have been giving interviews on particular things. They've been talking, they've been making videos. All of that is fine. But this, at one particular standpoint, I might talk about death today. I will talk about the same death like 5 years down the line, which will again come on the video. So there is a comparison of Abhishek talking about death in 2025, Abhishek talking about death in 2030, in case he's alive. Getting it? So there is some beautiful, discriminations. There is some amazing comparisons that you can do between these two videos. So this is what I wanted to announce, that okay, from now probably I wouldn't be able to tell you why are these fuckers coming in. So that is what I will not be able to tell you the absolute time frame. Okay, I'll be putting one video a week, one video a day. No, I might put out 10 videos on 1 week, or I might put out one video in a month also. It all depends on how much time I get to do. Here, the most important reason why am I deciding to do this is the edit part is not there. So whatever I talk about will probably come out as one video, or in between I'll probably not edit it at all. I'll put it very raw so that you might listen to a 10-15 minutes conversation about one topic. I'll try to see. I have a very bad habit of keep on talking, because I love talking, I love narrating, I love narrating stories, I love telling stories, all of this. So when I start talking, I go on talking. It might be for hours. So probably only constraint for me over here would be like, I will have to restrict myself for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever the video format is. So probably that is going to be a constraint. Let me work on it. But yes, this is the announcement. Probably you will start getting the videos soon. Let's hope for the best.